Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. I forgot to put on my lipstick today. Oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and go through it without any lipstick on. Dow Jones is down today. So the Dow Jones is really jumpy. The stock market in general is it's going to be fluctuating a lot up until the election. So it may be down one day and come back the next. Y'all don't get too excited about it. It's just how it is right now, but things are going to be okay. So yesterday I was looking on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I saw Stephen King was trending. I love Stephen King. You know, he is a super Democrat, and he makes all kinds of political posts. I see him all the time. He said to one MAGA or maggot, whatever you want to call him. I shouldn't call him names, but MAGA. He said, "Do you kiss your mother on the mouth? Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" That's what he said. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? I had to think about that. Oh, you know, Florida has banned 23 of his books. Can you believe it? Come on. I have read almost all his books, at least in his early years. You know, when I was a young adult, I loved Stephen King. You know, I don't even like to watch scary movies anymore or anything, but I used to love to read his books. The movies were never the same as his books, you know. I remember reading It, Salem Slot, Pet Cemetery, Cujo, Christine, all those were they were so scary. They were so good. And like I said, the movie never does it justice. And back in those days, we used to have a boat, and we would take our kids out on the boat and have a picnic and let them swim and all. And I would be reading a book, you know, and we were sitting out there getting a suntan, and I'd read one of my books, and it was always a Stephen King book. So I would tell the story to my kids as I would read a couple of chapters, and then I would tell them what I just read. And they were just like on pins and needles. Of course, you know, they were young, so I could tell the story in a way that they would be able to hear it. But it was a lot of fun. And I love Stephen King, I really do. But he was wearing a T-shirt, a Kamala T-shirt. He is a big supporter of Kamala, and you know, that's we need people like him that are famous, that are out there, you know, putting themselves out there and telling everybody, hey, go vote for this person. So I really respect him for that and enjoy watching him and reading his tweets, even if I can't stand to watch those kind of movies anymore. I don't know, some years ago something clicked, and any kind of violent movie, I can't stand to watch it. I really can't. And last night my husband was watching National Geographic, you know, and there was big cats, they're attacking the prey. I can't stand to watch that either. I cannot stand to see animals killing each other. I know that they have to eat, and that's what, you know, what happens. But I saw like some hyenas going after a male lion, and there was a whole bunch of hyenas trying to get this male lion, and another male lion came up to him, and they fended them all off. They all ran away. But for like 7 or 8 minutes, they were biting him and nipping at him. They wanted to eat that lion, and I don't know. I think it was his brother or something. He didn't have a full mane, so he was probably a young lion. And the brother came and helped him scare all the hyenas away. And then they were just so loving. They were headbutting each other, and he was so happy that his brother had rescued him. You know, animals have feelings. They have feelings, so I can't stand to see them dying. Even though I do eat animals, I'm not a vegetarian. You know, I love beef. I eat chicken too, but I don't really care for chicken at all. But I do eat beef. I love hamburgers and cheeseburgers, you know, chili, anything with beef. But I know cows are loving and sweet too. I've seen videos of people that have great relationships with their cows. And yeah, it's so sad. I was a vegetarian for like 3 months. I have a husband that loves to eat beef. He loves kebab and all that. So I did for 3 months, try to abstain from eating meat, and it was just so hard. It was when my kids were younger, and I was having to cook for them every day and for him, and it was finally too much, and I started eating meat again. But yeah, animals have feelings and emotions, and we love them, and I can't imagine raising an animal and eating it. I know farmers do that. They have cows and chickens and all that, and they eat their animals. Oh, I really couldn't do that. I really couldn't. But I don't know. What's wrong with me? Well, how can I eat animals? I don't even know what's wrong with me. I don't know how I can do that. But I love cheeseburgers. I guess I'm a little bit of a pig. But on a happier note, Trump will be sentenced in 15 days. I know we shouldn't be gleeful about that, but I'm a little gleeful. But, he's trying to have it moved to federal court. Anything that he can do to delay, because he doesn't really have any other way but to delay, because, he's in serious trouble, and he knows it. And on a sadder note, unfortunately, Hamas killed 6 of the hostages before they could be rescued last week. 2 people were rescued, and they were going to rescue these other 6 in the tunnel, the same way they rescued the other 2. So Hamas decided if, if they were coming to rescue them, that they would kill them all. So they killed all of the people, all the 6 people, shot them in the back of the head, I understand, so that they would find them dead, saying, if you're going to try to rescue them, we're just going to murder them. It's so, so sad. So, you know, um, the boy Hirsch, y'all have heard his mom speak at the Democratic convention, and she's been on TV. His parents on many different things. Also, they today I saw they spoke at his service. Oh my gosh, it's so sad. I feel so bad for all of the people that have lost loved ones, you know, through this whole conflict, this whole problem. It's just horrible. And I just feel so terrible for them because that was their only son. I mean, the only child, not just only son, but that was their only child. They are so strong and so courageous. I don't know how they had the ability to get up there and speak in front of everybody. She was, the mother, she spoke so beautifully. She really, really did. I know it took every ounce of courage and strength that she had to be able to, speak at his funeral. It was just so sad. I'm so moved by it. God bless them all. And I did see that Netanyahu is trending on Twitter as Satan Yahoo. They're calling him Satan Yahoo because he has no intention of negotiating with Hamas. He doesn't care if these hostages get released or not. Netanyahu had been charged with fraud, bribery, breach of trust. His trial is set to resume in December. He's got a lot in common with Trump. Is that his name? Wouldn't it be nice if we could truly forget his name? That would be so nice. But Netanyahu, he had asked for a delay because of the ongoing war. He really doesn't want to reach an agreement with Hamas because he wants to use that as a way to avoid this trial. The people of Israel, they are demonstrating. They're saying, I think 400,000 people took to the streets in Tel Aviv, and they're demonstrating. They want an agreement to be reached. They want the hostages released, but he's purposely hesitating, on making any kind of deals with Hamas. And this is what I'm getting from my guides, that he's secretly happy about all the deaths of the Palestinians. He really wants to just wipe them off the face of the earth. that is so sad and so terrible. That's why they're continuing to bomb schools, hospitals, and everything, because he really just wants to annihilate the Palestinian people. And like, I'm going to get rid of this problem once and for all. And he thinks he'll be hailed as a hero because he took care of them. And he is willing to sacrifice all the remaining hostages to do this. This has been his plan from the very start, to kill off as many Palestinians as he can. And it's so sad. He has no compassion for them whatsoever. He wants them gone, annihilated. I think I had told y'all before that we're selling our house, and that we had interviewed several realtors, and one of the realtors is a Palestinian lady. Her parents were born in Palestine. I believe she was born here, but still she considers herself a Palestinian. And she probably has a dual passport, like a lot of people that come here. But, they're people just like us. They're people just like us. And I know you guys know that. But that Netanyahu, it's like he's treating them like, he has no compassion, like they're disposable people, and they're not. The Israel army has killed over 41,000 Palestinian women, men, children. It's so sad. And they're continuing to, kill more and more every day. And one death is too many. I agree, one death is too many, but think about it proportionately. Like 1,500 Israelis have been killed, and 41,000 Palestinians. It's terrible, And Hamas can't be defeated because they're not really an army. They're not an army that we have an army here or in different countries, or Israel has an army. There's an army. They're not an army, they're not a force, a fighting force. They're all over the place. They are they're scattered militia out all in different countries, and, they're scattered all about. That's why they can't defeat them and kill them off. They're little groups, and they believe that Palestine has the right to be a state. And more people now are siding with Palestine. Of course, some of these people are radicals, and they'll give up their lives and they'll go fight for Palestine, and that's why that just keeps this going on and on and on. In 1917, the British government announced a national home for Jewish population in Palestine. That's how this all came about. And I know y'all know the history of it, but I'm going to go through it a little bit. I did take a few notes because I don't know, by heart the exact history. So I'm going to read a few notes that I have here. After the Holocaust, the Jews migrated to Palestine for safety, to unite with all their family and friends. Nobody took into account that the Palestinians didn't take kindly to this invasion. Y'all just move over. We don't care. We're coming. The British had control in that time, and that's what happens. But in 1947, the United Nations adopted a resolution that Palestine would be split into two states, right? So there was a Jewish state and there was an Arab state. But the Palestinians said, hell no, we're not doing that. This is our land. And then the fighting started. And it's, they've been fighting all this time. Israel declared independence in 1948. And, the Palestinians were just shoved off their land, basically. And Israel has been backed by foreign powers like the United States, like, England. see my notes. So Palestine was then divided into three parts, right? So it was Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza Strip until 1967. And then a 6-day war ensued. But the Palestinians, again, were overpowered. And then in the 1990s, here comes the PLO, right? Yasser Arafat. He represented the people, the Palestinian people, and he recognized that Israel had a right to exist in peace, right? So that was good for a little while. Palestine in 2000 won control of the West Bank and Gaza. But, they were pushed. They were pushed to the very edge of Palestine. And y'all can see that on the map. But it has been under the control of Israel, even though that's their state or whatever. Israel was controlling it. In 2006, Hamas won the election, kicking out the PLO. And then Israel imposed a blockade on Gaza. And that greatly restricted goods going in and out of Gaza. They have control on the, if you look at the map, they have control of the land there. So 81% of Palestinians live in poverty because of this, with food insecurity. Unemployment was like at 47%. That was before all this war broke out. Now I'm sure it's staggering. I'm sure everybody's living in poverty now. They didn't have access to clean water, electricity. Everything was at a crisis level already, before all this started. And that was in the early 2000s. And, Hamas has engaged in combating, in combat by launching missiles at Israel. And so it goes on and on and on. And till 2023, there's a surprise attack on October the 7th. Now, of course, there's a lot of things that went on in between there, but I'm giving you kind of a rough overview of what's been going on between Palestine and Israel. Now, some will say that the land once belonged to the Jewish people, and so they should be allowed to be there. And I would say this to you, and I've said this before on my channel. If you've been following me and listening to me, I've said this before. Let's take, for instance, Texas. Parts of Texas once belonged to Mexico, right? I live here in Texas. Also, parts of California, I think Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and even Oklahoma once belonged to Mexico. But what, Santa Ana, he tried to take back parts of Texas. That didn't work out too well. But what if Mexico elected a group like Hamas and declared that Texas must be returned to Mexico? I mean, just think about that. What if that happened? Now, I know that's not going to happen, but just imagine how Texans would feel, how everybody in the United States would feel if Mexico was invading Texas and trying to take back part of Texas. Now you know how the Palestinians feel. Okay? Now you know. That we wouldn't like that at all. We wouldn't accept that. We wouldn't like that. And naturally, that wouldn't really happen. But you can just understand where the Palestinian people are. It doesn't matter who believes in what. It doesn't matter what religion you are or anything. People should be able to live in their country and not be invaded by another country. That's why we're so worried about Putin. He's invading Ukraine, and that shouldn't happen. And nothing like that should happen. That's why we have the UN. That's why we're all united to prevent things like this from happening. So you understand how Ukraine people feel, understand how Palestinian people feel. But they already have been devastated and annihilated. And some people will say, well, they shouldn't have elected Hamas. Well, you know, if let's say Trump was elected and he did some bad deeds and bad things that we know that he will do bad deeds and bad things, and he did them already. Would you want to have your loved ones bombed, or take responsibility for his actions? So some people are saying the Palestinians, they elected Hamas, and so that's what they get. Is that what we would get if the actions of our leaders? Should we be bombed? Should someone threaten our lives because we elected somebody that did some crazy action? I think not. I think not. So we all have to have compassion for other people. This world is big enough for us all. It really is. But we have to understand where everybody's coming from and just have compassion. Have compassion for the Israeli people, for the Jewish people, for the Arab people, for the Palestinian people. I have compassion for all of them. Violence and fighting isn't the answer, of course, and that's why we really praying, all of us were praying for a ceasefire and for them to reach a deal and have a two-party state and everybody get on with their lives. This has been going on much too long, much, much too long. So prayers for all the people that have been affected by this, that have lost their loved ones. I love you so much. God bless each and every one of you. I just send, love to Israel, to Palestine, to all the lands over there, that they'll be protected. That's what we need to do. Just send protection. Just see the white light of the Holy Spirit descending upon these lands and protecting all the people there. And both sides. Both sides. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It was a little bit long. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. God bless each and every one of y'all. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a little cloudy and raining here today, but it's very nice because our temperatures are staying down. I think it's around 75 degrees outside today. Can you believe it? After being in the hundreds. So fall is on its way. So I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and enjoying your day. Love you so much. If you'd like to get a reading with me, or I'm doing a lot of healing sessions. So if you would like to be a part of a healing session for your family member, a friend, a pet, anything, let me know. Look down below. There's my email address. Send me an email. Love you. Take care. Bye for now. I'm going to put on lipstick next time.